Good morning. I'm Tom Davis. I'm the director of the Office of Recapitalization, and it's great to see so many of you here today. It's a really exciting time to be getting more engaged in RAD, or at least exciting once your coffee kicks in. Glad that you're here, and I think we've got a really good couple days of information for you. I think this event, as you all know, is focused on the RAD for public housing side of RAD, so if you're here for the component 2 side, you might be a little bored. But for public housing, it's a good time for a fresh look on the RAD program. The program has changed a lot since the first deals closed. We've learned some important lessons. We've seen a lot of replicable creativity, which has been really exciting in the program. And we've, from that creativity, seen a lot of new tools that we've created over time. And most recently, Congress has raised the cap up to 455,000 units, which, as all of you know, the cap was 225,000 previously, so that's a really spectacular increase in the cap. And thanks to that, many of you here in the room are anticipating coming off of the waiting list, getting your CHAP, and looking hard at what you can do with RAD. And we're hoping that the program today and tomorrow really gives you a lot of help on that score. So RAD was created because of the challenge represented by the capital backlog. It was, in 2010, it was estimated at $26 billion. It's been going up since then to, what, 30 or 40 billion? The estimates are vary, but that's just to address deferred maintenance, not to look forward to what the properties need and the residents need and your communities need going forward. We can't expect a $30 billion supplemental appropriations to deal with the deferred maintenance anytime soon, and we're trying through RAD to give you a variety of tools and give you the ability to access the capital markets to address what you can without new funding from the federal government. And housing authorities across the country have been doing it and doing an amazing job at it. Housing authorities have converted just shy of 94,000 units, and through those conversions have secured over $5.4 billion towards construction at those properties. It's an amazing number and a tribute to the creativity and imagination of the housing authority leadership across the country. RAD is a really transformative moment for a property and sometimes for a housing authority. As you all know, today you have a public housing property, you go through RAD, and ta-da, you kind of have a Section 8 property. Of course, it's not that easy. But RAD does sound good, doesn't it? But RAD is specifically about that moment of change. You're a public housing property beforehand, the property is a Section 8 property afterwards, and RAD is that moment of change. And we've seen a huge variety of ways that people have used that opportunity, that moment of change. We've seen rehab deals that address deferred maintenance, that mitigate health risks like asthma triggers or lead-based paint, deals that reduce energy costs, deals that improve accessibility, and just generally transform the residents' quality of life. We've seen deals that could have been Hope 6 or Choice Neighborhood revitalization efforts, where the Housing Authority has torn down and rebuilt from scratch. We've seen deals that transfer the assistance from the original site to new sites, whether that's deconcentrating poverty or creating better access to opportunities or whatever the local objective is. And we've seen deals that re-envision sort of how the communities relate to their residents. You've all seen the properties where the residents are sort of shouting through the little holes in the plexiglass in front of all of their neighbors, their most intimate challenges. We've seen lobbies and management spaces completely redesigned. We've seen housing authorities deal with curb appeal and really trying to make their properties have a different place in their communities. The moment of change is also sometimes a moment of change, a shift in operations. You've had a public housing property. the property is now under Section 8. It's a different thing. It's particularly different if you've also brought in low-income housing tax credits into the mix, and there are different players, there are different program rules, there are different processing steps to get the subsidy. And in some cases, the RAD conversion is part of a transformation of the entire agency because the leadership has decided to pursue a different business model or a strategic plan that involves converting their entire portfolio. But whether it's an agency-wide transformation or not, it's a significant event for the property and particularly for the residents. During construction, as you all know, it's disruptive for the residents. And RAD has focused a lot, and I know our housing authority partners have focused a lot on trying to minimize that disruption and plan for it and mitigate the fears of the residents, particularly the most vulnerable residents. There's a lot of change. They are worried about their homes. And fundamentally, the planning for the resident experience in RAD is a key part of a successful RAD transaction, and we'll be talking some about that today. And we've learned some early lessons on this score where things did not go the way we would have wanted them to. But as a result, today we have a really robust package of resident rights as part of the RAD program. It's arguably the best package of resident rights for any HUD development program, and we're very proud of that. It's part of sort of the philosophy of the way we are implementing the RAD program. We try to set some guardrails, and then we try to maximize your ability to be creative within those guardrails. So what are those guardrails? Things like the resident rights that we'll be talking about, the right to return and choice mobility. Things like the ability to cover the 20-year capital needs of the property. Whether that means doing the work up front or whether that means setting the money aside, a core principle of the RAD program is that we need to be as confident as we can be looking into the crystal ball that the property is going to be stable and sustainable over time. And then some of the other guardrails are more traditional HUD program guardrails like environmental concerns, fair housing concerns, Davis-Bacon, Section 3, that kind of thing. We know that HUD can't give you the money that you would ideally want to address all of your local needs. So what we're trying to do is give you the flexibility to work within the guardrails and be as creative as possible with the resources that you can access. We welcome your innovation. We love the ideas that come to us from all of you. We are very open to ideas on how you could do more if we would say yes to X. Doesn't mean we can always say yes, but we are always willing to have that conversation about what that might mean. And it's part of, through RAD and actually through HUD generally, we are really, through HUD generally and particularly in the public housing, our colleagues in public housing are really trying to think about, in this environment, what can we do to make more tools available to you so that you can be thinking as creatively as possible about your challenges in your communities. So over the last few years, we've really proven the concept that this flexibility within the guardrails that is sort of the RAD framework has opened the door to a lot of great solutions. We've made great strides in RAD, and housing authorities have done amazing things, and we are really well poised for expanding that with this doubling of the RAD cap and with all of the new folks who are coming in to look at RAD for a fresh look. So what are the things that we're focusing on in the sort of short and medium term? First, we're thinking about building the volume. We are really excited about the opportunity that the increase in the cap offers. We're we recognize that deals, particularly complex deals with very tight financial margins, take time to put together. And the cap has constrained the pipeline of people's ability to start thinking about that. And we're pleased that now it's a little more available for folks to begin thinking about their RAD transaction and your financial structuring. We have a fatter pipeline, so we're hoping that we can process more transactions, and we still are conscious of the cap, but we are setting up the platform to handle that volume and trying to improve a variety of things internally, our data management, including the data management that you interface with, the underwriting and closing process, and the post-closing monitoring to ensure that the resident rights and other key features are being properly focused on in every RAD deal. The second thing that we're really focusing on is filling in and fleshing out our processes. There are rough spots in our processing, and it's still a new program, and we are working on smoothing as many of those as we can. We have, over the last couple of years, made a lot of progress there, and we're still looking for where we can improve that. We're also focusing more on the compliance and closeout functions and the transition of properties into the asset management and how we can help that transition be as smooth for all of the RAD participants as possible. The third thing that we're really focusing on now is improving your ability to deploy the resources that might be available to you. We're looking for new financial tools. We're looking for figuring out where we can encourage partnerships with sources of financing so that you can access the resources that are out there. That comes through in a variety of ways, but one of them is that we will be working on an update to the RAD notice in the late summer, early fall is probably when it will get published. It won't be a sea change or anything like that, but we are looking for ways to make the process easier and improve the ability of you and your colleagues around the country to make RAD work in places that perhaps it didn't work beforehand. So now is a good moment for thinking about ideas and things that we could do differently. And then finally, in the shortest term, we are working on the Federal Register notice, which we hope to publish very soon, that implements the omnibus raise increase in the RAD cap and sort of opens the door for all of the folks who, many of you in the room, who have been waiting on the waiting list and can then submit your detailed applications and get a CHAP. We actually just yesterday published on the website a revised application form, which also tries to simplify that process and streamline it a bit. And so look for the Federal Register notice in just a very few days. We had been aiming to have it published before today, but didn't quite get there, but I think we're extremely close. So as you launch your RAD transaction, your strategy will be incredibly local, based on what works for your housing authority, for your community, with the resources that you can assemble, and with your focus on what your neighborhood, your neighbors and community's needs are. And we can't predict that, and we expect a huge variety of things to come to us as you do that. And as you are thinking through that strategy, what you're planning may well change from what you said in your initial application, and that is fine. The application is a starting place just to frame things, but we often see the application describing a very different transaction from what actually comes in when we get to the real approvals of the RAD transaction. So don't be afraid of that as you're thinking through what your strategy is and as you're thinking through the ideas that you hear other people describing that they have toyed with and implemented. The RECAP team, which is the Office of Recapitalization, which is the primary office administering the RAD program, even though it touches many offices within HUD, The recap team and the rest of HUD is working to make the process easier for you. That's a constant raising of the bar. And in the meantime, we're hoping that through today and tomorrow, you get a better sense of the possibilities that RAD offers as you're thinking about your plan for your community. We're hoping that you get a better sense of the RAD process. And with luck, we hope that you'll be able to avoid some of the mistakes that others have made along the way, so that RAD is a better program for housing authorities and the residents every year as we go forward. So I'm very hopeful that these 2 days are useful for you. I'm thrilled that you're all here. It's great to see so many people interested in RAD and willing to come to DC to learn more. And glad you're here, and I will now move on to the rest of the agenda. So welcome.